Elizabeth Olsen has only become better at her craft year after year. When one starts a profession as a child, you can expect a level of expertise in their output as they grow older. This can be said of Elizabeth Olsen, the 33-year-old Hollywood actress who started acting at the age of 4. Born in Sherman Oaks, California, Elizabeth Olsen started acting by featuring as an extra in some of her sister's movies. By the time she graduated from college in 2013, she had featured in several movies and even secured an agent. Hi, I am Alana. In this video, you will get to know about some of the highest-grossing movies of Elizabeth Olsen. So, let's get started. Elizabeth Olsen featured in the 2012 Spanish-American supernatural thriller movie Red Lights, in which she played Sally Owen. This movie's plot focuses on the story of a physicist and a university professor who were bent on discrediting a renowned psychic. Red Lights grossed a total of $14 million in the worldwide box office. The 2012 American independent psychological horror movie directed by Chris Kennys and Laura Lau is a remake of a 2010 Uruguayan movie, La Casa Muda. It features Elizabeth Olsen as Sarah. The movie tells the story of Sarah, a young woman who finds herself terrorized in her dilapidated family house amidst ominous events. Silent House grossed $6 million in its opening weekend, which is 52.3% of the total box office gross. This movie went on to gross a total of $16 million in the worldwide box office gross. This 2017 movie is a murder mystery that was written and directed by Taylor Sheridan. It features Elizabeth Olsen as Jane Banner, an FBI special agent. In this movie, Jane Banner as Elizabeth Olsen teams up with Corey Lambert as Jeremy Renner to investigate the mysterious murder of a local girl. Wind River garnered a worldwide box office gross of $44 million. In this 2014 monster movie, which was directed by Gareth Edwards, Elizabeth Olsen starred as Elle Brody, the wife of the U.S. Navy EOD L.T. Ford Brody, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Elizabeth Olsen starred in Godzilla alongside Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ken Watanabe, Juliette Binoche, Sally Hawkins, David Strathairn, Bryan Cranston, and T.J. Storm. Godzilla was produced with a $160 million budget, and in the first weekend of its production, it grossed $93 million, which is 46.4% of the total gross. The movie went ahead to gross a staggering $529 million in the worldwide box office. Captain America also makes the list of Elizabeth Olsen's top movies. This movie is a sequel to Marvel Studios' Captain America, the first Avenger, and Captain America: The Winter Soldier. The 2016 movie was released in September 2016 by Walt Disney Home Entertainment after prior international releases. In Captain America: Civil War, one team, headed by Captain America, wants the Avengers to be free from government and political interference, while defending humanity, while the other, headed by Iron Man, who is in support of government oversight to ensure accountability. In this movie, Elizabeth Olsen starred as Wanda Maximoff. Captain America: Civil War grossed $179 million in the opening weekend of production, which is 43.9% of the total worldwide box office gross of $1.1 billion. Isn't that breathtaking? The next movie to make this list of Elizabeth Olsen's top movies is the 2015 movie Avengers Age of Ultron. This particular movie is the 11th movie in Marvel Cinematic Universe. This American superhero movie features Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff alongside several great acts including Robert Downey, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Mark Ruffalo as Hulk, and Chris Evans as Captain America, among others. Captain America: Age of Ultron grossed $191 million in its opening weekend, which is 41.7% of its total box office gross. As a total, this astonishing superhero movie grossed a total of $1.3 billion in worldwide box office sales. Isn't that great? Wait, the best is yet to come. Elizabeth Olsen also played Wanda Maximoff in Avengers Endgame, which is the direct sequel to the 2018 superhero movie Avengers Infinity War, which we will talk about in the next session. In this movie, Wanda Maximoff, Elizabeth Olsen, reprised her role from Avengers Infinity Wars alongside Robert Downey, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Paul Rudd, and Brie Larson, among others. This mesmerizing movie grossed a total estimate of $107 million in domestic video sales, $858 million in the domestic box office, and $1.9 billion in the international box office, which makes a total of $2.7 billion in the worldwide box office. That is amazing, isn't it? This movie is extraordinary. It doesn't just top the list of Elizabeth Olsen's movies, it is also one of the most expensive movies ever made, and the highest-grossing movie in 2018. Produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. This extraordinary movie is the direct sequel to Avengers Age of Ultron of 2015. It features an ensemble cast that includes Elizabeth Olsen, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Chris Hemsworth, Sebastian Stan, Mark Ruffalo, and the late Chadwick Boseman. Aside from the fact that this movie earned many nominations for numerous awards, its turnover in earnings makes it the biggest movie Elizabeth Olsen has featured in. In the opening weekend alone, this great movie made $257 million, which is just 38% of the total gross earnings. It went on to earn a total gross of $2 billion in the worldwide box office, which makes it the fourth highest-grossing movie of all time and the first superhero movie to gross over $2 billion. Which Elizabeth Olsen movie does it better? We never can tell, as she still has a lot of features coming up. Elizabeth Olsen will star as Candy Montgomery in the HBO Max limited series Love and Death, which will be released in May 2022. So that was all for this video. Which movie do you think suited Elizabeth the most? Comment your answer in the description box below. You can also tell us your topic for our next video. And as always, thanks for watching.